Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi. I got this, I'm ready. My goal is to go through MB 5 and 6. Yes, that is a good goal. So time for some risky business. Okay, first thing, there's 3 entrances and 1 exit. That's fine, even though they can come from 2 sides, so it kind of counts as 2. Ooh, hello. But yeah, this should be fine, especially when I have thorns by my side. Extra buff thorns. Thorns, my boy. Okay, there you are, my boy. Ooh, hello. Do you think they still have food? I would like to eat some of Mayor's food, which I assume are sandwiches. I'm back. You alrighty, Miss Silence? I'm alright. In fact, perhaps I should thank you. Ooh, thank you. Ooh, hello. Welcome. What for? Not much. Alright, well then, shall we continue? Where did you leave off? Anthony offering Robin the olive branch. Also, I hope your stream went by well. Wait, my voice is only coming from the right side? What the heck? That is so weird. I hope my mic's not acting up. This Blue Yeti, it's not even like a year old yet. It's still a bebe mic. In my eyes. I was just talking with Miss Mayor about how excellent his methods are. I feel you may simply be overthinking it. Ooh, you're doing Annihilation? I hope that went by well, and that you have a nice rest. Perhaps you didn't think so hard about it at the time, wanting to give Robin his pure goodwill. Honestly, I can't deny that sort of possibility. But if he was just a simple, kind-hearted person, he'd have no way of living through this world, Miss Silence. Forget it. I shouldn't be discussing this with you. Where did Mare leave you? Once Kafka and Anthony wrapped up talks, Anthony finally decided to break out. We got to Robin waking up in the clinic, and Anthony inviting her onto the Jailbreak team. Oh, thank you. I have to say, Miss Silence, I'm genuinely curious as to where you got this lead on Anthony from. From my mentor's things. Ah, yes. Any good mentor has information about people, especially those in prison, right? As one does. Really? Director Parvis got stuck in this too? No. It's been an age since I had any direct contact with him. Moreover, I'm afraid he may not even know about this. Ooh, thank you. Ever since I left Rhine Lab, I've sorted through a great deal of intel I'd never once cared about before. And within that, I caught onto Simon's tale. Onto the Simon's tale. Oh? The family's destruction was very rapid. Moreover, some data were camouflaged very well, so to many people's eyes, it seemed as though there was no change in the figures at all. But camouflage always tends to leave a trace, a statistical form here, a stray datum here. As long as you compare the detail, you'll find the problem that arises within. I was only given those figures a try at first, just to see, and never expected I'd come across anything like this. You only realized by chance. No, I guess it was inevitable. But why the sudden interest in sorting out all the data? Because my trust in Rhine Lab, and my mentor, has started to wane. The diabolic crisis? No, not just that. The diabolic crisis precipitated Saria's departure. What happened after that, I presume you understand even better than I do, Director Mulces. I see now. Wowie, I was just asking about thinking. Should you really have come out with all this? I mean, without thinking. Isn't that what you wanted to hear? I'm not good at covering things up, Director Mulces. So once I thought it through, I decided to be candid with you. Plus, Silence had a nice meal, so she's probably feeling super happy because she's not hangry anymore. I may not be fond of my mentor at all, but he said something that's stuck in my mind ever since. What makes the schemers sweat is open talk. Seems like I'm the villain here, huh? No. My time living at Rhodes Island has taught me one thing. And it's that not everyone who goes against you should be considered an enemy. I believe that you're no villain. And neither is Saria. It is only that you and I and Saria have no way to reach a mutual understanding. Aha! Maybe, yeah. Director Mulces, do you still want to hear more? Yes, I want to hear more about the story, please. I mean, of course. We were just getting to the good part. Aw, but the story is pretty much nearing the end here, isn't it? I mean, at that point, Anthony's whole jailbreak crew was more or less in place, right? Anthony himself, Doma the Mortician, Kafka, temp worker Mina. Ad and Robin and everyone pulls together to kick ass and pull a prison break, right? No, things aren't that simple. Eh? No one said Robin joined Anthony's team. Eh? It's true that after that, Kafka, Doma, and Anthony started working out how to pull off the jailbreak. And Robin was even included in it. But things were not that simple. What happened? Do you still remember the helper you mentioned Hybros out at? I do. What about him? He found Robin. Uh-oh. Oh no, poor Robin. But no worries, she's safe in my Rhodes Island base now. She's living here rent-free, but she has to work though. Since my Rhodes Island needs all the help it can get. You know how it be. I wonder how scary the other side is. Okay, I guess I'm finding out right now. How do I want to do this? I'll just put him right here. As I always do. Oh, how annoying. There's the Archer dudes. I don't like them. Man, those Archer dudes always bother me. You know what? Let me just put you here. You here. Now let me set this up too. You here. Please stop hurting Thorns. He's my boy. Caster prisoner? Uh-oh. I mean, nah, this should be fine. This is completely fine. This is safe. Man, he's just standing there menacingly, though. Kind of bothers me. He's just asserting his dominance. As one does. But still. I don't need those lights. It's not like it's that dark in here anyways. Heh. I'm still in all that toilet. It's so shiny. What am I even meant to do? Ahem. Is something the matter, sir? Ah, Miss Robin. I've been wanting to meet you. I presume right now you're wavering over whether to continue your own hit, or if you help Anthony jump ship. Who are you? My name is Gesselton, Miss Robin. Nice to meet you, Gesselton. Don't you worry, I'm just like you. I'm one of the hitmen sent in here to take out Anthony. And I so happened to hear Mr. Anthony invited you to break out. He was spying? Mr. Anthony, Captain Barton was wondering if you are doing okay. Are you hurt? Nothing serious, just a few scrapes. Let him know to wait a little longer. I'll be finished here soon. Right, not a problem. Take your time. You were the jailer back there? Ah, it looks like you remember me. Wonderful. I like to imagine I'm pretty memorable. Ooh, hello to you. Good evening to you. If you'd gone and forgotten me, why, I'd feel sad as a burden beast. Sorry, jailer dude. The other jailer lady's more memorable. You were listening there the whole time? Ha ha. I was the one who brought your prison pals over while they were out stone cold. Anthony might have kept his voice down in that safe room of his, but see, I'm the kind of person who notices things. Wasn't difficult at all to listen in. What are you trying to do? I'm here to give you a deal, Miss Robin. A deal? A deal. Of course, we can't forget to praise Mr. Anthony for his moves. What he did was offer you the olive branch, but truth is whether you accepted it or not. It wouldn't do him no harm. Marvelous move, I gotta say. Even I can't help but give it a gold star. It's a crying shame that he didn't understand who you are. Otherwise, I fear he'd given it a second thought. Who am I? Yep, you see, you, Miss Robin, have not yet sensed the factual relationship that exists between you and Mr. Anthony. Can you get to the point? Miss Robin, do you still recall the name of that place your pop worked back in his lively days? Black Cloud. Right on. Black Cloud Trade Corporation. Your pop was the general manager there, but right when his business reached the shining peak, Black Cloud Trade suddenly went under. After that, no matter how he tried, business never picked up again. Ever since, he kept tumbling. Started drinking. These days, he lies on a hospital bed waiting for his medical fees so he can get operated. So, you know who bankrupted Black Cloud Trade? You don't mean? Correct. Simon Co. themselves. The family name Mr. Anthony's so proud of? Simon, one of the same. How do you know Mr. Gesselton? Of course. I gotta prove I'm being genuine. So let me give you the whole picture. The short story is, 6 years ago, the Simons and Highbrow fought over something. Both sides wanted the other halves of the pie. Both sides were pretty even weights. Oh, thank you. Their tussling and bustling grew and grew, until the day someone drew blood. In the end, it was Hydro one step ahead, and the Simons were dust in the wind. During the calamity, Smith Simon, at the head of the family, decided his only son, Anthony Simon, ought to be sent to another city. And then, once he escaped to Ironforge City, poor little Anthony got captured. Lucky thing is, in Ironforge City state law, all criminals are tried in the state itself. In other words, he was not sent back to Bunker Hill City for trial. Then, after that, state law said he'd be locked in their own Mansfield State Prison. Now, I gotta say, I think old Smith planned this well in advance, sending his son to Ironforge to be captured. When all's said and done, Anthony's safe precisely because he's not in Bunker Hill City, where Hydro rule the land. The man! Gesselton, you said you're gonna show her proof or tell her, prove yourself to be in or genuine. You're all talk, my dude. You gotta show, actual papers. Does this have anything to do with my pop? Of course it does. I just told you, Simon were competitors of a kind with Hydro. Even if they were a move behind, they'd still get a last word in while death was a-comin'. And there among the gang they spat that last word at. Why, that was your old man's company, Black Cloud Trade. We can also assume if the Simons were one step ahead of Hydro instead, then Smith Simon would have had the marbles to far outstrip the brothers all those years. But just like the Simons went poof overnight, Black Cloud Trade took the Simons' death struggle square, and when the sun came up, they'd vanished. Your pop, of course, wanted to make a comeback, but would his rivals give him the chance? Not in a million years. So Colombian business gone. Times it stinks more of blood than the battlefield. And because of that, your pop's never been up on his feet since. Now so, I've gotta admit, it makes total sense why Mr. Anthony wants to get out of here and give Hydro hell twice over. But you, Mr. Robin? We can both assume for sure, if Hydro never wiped out the Simons, then the Simons would have never taken down your pop's Black Cloud Trade with them. We can also assume, if the Simons were one step ahead of Hydro instead, then Smith Simon would have had ambitions to far outstrip the brothers all those years. He might have even been more peaceful in dealing with Hydro's various underling firms. But if don't live anywhere. Present reality is, the Simons have caused your old man's collapse. And the guy you're killing, Anthony Simon, is that family's last man standing, their sole survivor. I don't think it adds up like that. Robin, you are legit. Yeah, I like how she's like, nice story, bro, but I don't know if I believe you. Sure. Of course I'm not gonna tell you this is righteous, Miss Robin. This ain't no justice at all. If tragedies can be weighed, then I must say, the debt Hydro owes Mr. Anthony is far heavier than what Mr. Anthony owes you. But does that mean your revenge has to wait its sweet turn until it is done? Is your plan worth less than his? That ain't right. Pain's an equal mistress. Think about all those miserable years your old man's gone through. You've got enough reason to pull the big guy to death. You have to put the big guy to death, don't you? Robin, think about it. It might have been Mr. Anthony's dad who did it, but not Mr. Anthony himself, right? And we must consider something else too, Miss Robin. Something even more practical. The Simons are already ruined. Even if Mr. Anthony can break his way out, even if he promises to sweeten your pop, even if at the very end he succeeds. What the hell is he able to give you? Can he pay all those urgent medical fees for you? Can he get your pop to the most cutting-edge hospital out there for treatment? Yeah, he's gonna take the pop to, like, Rhode Island, right? I'm a doctor. Maybe old Smith passed his business brain down to his son, but in the short term, he can't do squat. But me, I can give you these things. Wait a second, is Gesselton Generous J? You can think it over, Miss Robin. You can think it over, Miss Robin. Yeah, it is Generous J. You're the one hiring me? I am, here in the flesh. I sympathize with your experiences, but I have figured out how you tick. I know you aren't willing to take charity, and I don't like giving others charity either. So I've prepped for you a deal. Why would you tell me all that? Of course, I was not planning to reach out to you at first, only this move Mr. Anthony made has forced me out. Forgive my sorrows once more, but after living in here, even I was one step away from Mr. Anthony's boldness winning me over. And if I hadn't told you any of this, you would have let that cheap sympathy go to your head, and you would have chosen to help him. And if I were running some basic con on you today, say, Mr. Anthony brought your old man's company down, I'd worry about you hearing the full picture from his side soon enough. And wouldn't I look like a cheat and a scoundrel then? You'd want nothing to do with me. So I may as well tell you everything you ought to know. Let you choose for yourself. Go and put all those past disputes to one side. Just think about this one. Simple question. You gonna choose to help him out of sympathy, with likely no returns, or are you gonna help me, for all I've promised in your interest? I still don't trust you, Mr. J. Robin, don't trust him. He's a suspicious dude. Miss Robin, have you decided? I'm in. Oh no, Miss Robin, you're gonna be a double agent, aren't you? I still like you, though. I do like you, Robin. You think he looks trustworthy? To me, he looks extra sus. Especially since he called himself Generous J. And he said, I'm gonna prove to you without showing actual proof. You just all talk. When someone says they're gonna prove something to you, they gotta use more than just words. Well, now I understand why you said that even though Robin joined the team, it wasn't that simple. Looks like Gesselton talked her over, and she joined Anthony's side as a spy. Yes. And here I thought there wasn't going to be any more surprises in the story. I didn't know that Robin been through all that. Not even the intel I read mentioned it. And Gesselton, I've heard about him, but I didn't know he could be this difficult to deal with. You know about him? He's that famous? But that cash though, I don't even know if he's willing to give it. I feel like he's just handing out false promises. Yeah. He's one of Parasol's ace hatchetmen. And I heard that as long as you've got the money, he's more than willing to be your errand boy. He's Hydebro's top trump card for this whole kerfuffle. Known to have a dainty fine taste, but most people just think he's beyond repulsive. I thought he was just some normal hitman, but who knew he was such a thinker? I knew he was Hydro's trump card, but I didn't expect him to make a snap decision like that. He made it seem like he gave her a choice, but she actually didn't have much of a choice. It's just exactly what he said, though. He had information on Robin's background that Anthony didn't have. What's more, he's been watching Anthony the whole time, without him knowing. It's no wonder he had the advantage. If I were in her shoes, faced with that kind of predicament, I would have picked his side too. You're right. Oh, I thought you would disagree. I don't agree with the way he thinks, and I don't like him. But at the very least, I think what he said to Robin was at least more forthcoming than you trying to test me over and over. How you talk like you know who I am makes you just as repulsive as my mentor, Director Mulses. Looks like I went a little overboard. Guess I should apologize. To tell you the truth, even I feel the same way about him. He's kind of boring. It's not easy to find someone like Robin if you don't got your way. Someone who has a complicated relationship with Anthony. And to bait her into a game like that. Well, whatever. In any case, we have all the players in the Jailbreak party by now, right? Yes. We've got a pretty smooth informant, an assassin who's not half bad, a girl working part-time who gets to go anywhere she wants in the prison, a morgue doctor who's been there for ages, and an excellent leader. It's pretty well-rounded for a ragtag team. Right. Long story short, after all the groundwork was laid, they more or less moved onto the preparatory phase. It almost went without a hitch. Did anything happen during that time? I feel like Mulsis wants to hear more stories about the jail fights. You know how they fight for food? Nothing other than the assassinations. Oh right, I almost forgot. The hit was still on, wasn't it? Yes, but since the jailers had no way to handle it other than looking into all the prisoners, and the hitmen were only going after Anthony, they gave up on doing anything about it. Wow, they're just like Anthony's built different, they don't have to worry about him. Aha, that's just like them. Oh, I just remembered something Robin told me. What is it? The thing about how they convinced Doma to leave with them. Huh? What's this about? I thought Doma was part of the team. Oh, that's right. They didn't find out until later that even though Doma said she'd help Anthony break out of the prison, she didn't intend to leave herself. Why is that? Because she hadn't ever been outside the prison. Wait, she's never been out there? Was she born there? Eh? You heard me right. I ain't actually going with you. How come? Don't tell me you actually like it here. No, I don't like it here. Not one bit. The last morgue doctor took me in when the prison was docked. Far back as I remember, I only ever lived here. This is where I grew up. Wait, the last morgue doctor? Adopted her during one of the stays? He's like, oh yes, we're docked at this one town for a few days. You know what I should do? Adopt a child, yes. As one does. Yo, she must accomplish the possible. Going outside and touching grass, you're right. The patronizing jailers, the hate, the inmate violence, their deaths too. That's all I ever seen in my life. I sometimes take a walk around. We pop into a city. I can tell I don't belong there. I'm scared. Understandable, Doma. Going outside is scary. It's very scary. Then why are you helping Anthony break out of this place? 'Cause he's my only friend. It wasn't until Anthony got here that I knew there were people like him in the world. He gets into scraps like the others, but he's got some self-control. He gets angry, but he don't let his anger make trouble for nobody. He's always polite, downright fair to everyone. He pushes books on me and tells me what life's like on the outside. Yo, Anthony sounds like he treats her pretty well, huh? And also Doma seems like she kinda likes him. Be it romantic or platonic. When he first got here, he'd bellyache about how fate's unkind to him. I was already thinking of helping him get out back then. Wait, all the way back then when he first got here 6 years ago, she's like, I kinda like this boy, I'ma help him. But I don't know anything, and I wasn't being much of a help to him, so I didn't say nothing. Then he started getting calmer and calmer, and everyone else started looking up to him. I was happy and a little sad at the same time. Felt like he was missing something. Besides, I always thought that he shouldn't have been locked up in here. He should have had a better life. That's why I was awful happy for him when he decided to leave after Kafka spilled the beans to him. And just helping him get out is more than I need. Don't say nothing to him, but I'm ready. If something goes wrong, somewhere, I'm more than willing to give my life just to see him out of here. Wow, Doma is such a good friend. This isn't right. What's the matter, Robin? You don't look too good. Nothing. I'm just thinking, you're really willing to go so far for him? Yeah. I don't think that's a good thing, though. You're right. Life on the outside's a lot more complicated than life in here. It's not all sunshine and rainbows outside either. There are probably more bad things out there than good. But I also think it's a shame if you don't try to live all that. It's a shame you don't try to live all that just because you're scared. You don't think Anthony belongs in prison, but I think someone kind-hearted as you doesn't belong here either. You deserve a better life. Do I? Yeah, escape with Anthony. You two will run away together. Yes, Doma, you will run away with your bestie. And then you'll become roommates. Yes. I don't know. And I'm pretty sure he'd think just the same way about you two. He wants a better life for you. ... Let me think about it, okay? Yeah. Ooh, hello, hello. Man, we all gotta find ourselves someone like Doma. She's such a sweet lady, and oh gosh, I didn't stare at how many... Ooh! So many ways for them to get at me. Yo, I don't like this. I do not like this at all, thank you. Okay, let me just prep this. I feel fear. Just the slightest bit of fear. Okay. But yes, don't fear thorns is here, of course, of course. Ugh, still. So many dudes just standing there menacingly. These dudes are so intimidating. always feel fear. It's a healthy amount of fear, though. Shoot. Let me just put my nice buddy Monster here. You think it's an OP squad? Thank you. I honestly can't tell. I don't look up stats. I just put whoever I like in a team and then... it's a team. Waifu all the way. I'm just like, I like you. You join my team. That is literally the strategy. If I like a character, they just join me. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Me. You know what? This is fine. Ooh, see you later. Man, this is fine. These guys are just standing there awkwardly. They could have came at me all at once, but nah. They were scared. They felt intimidated. I can see how someone who's never known life outside the prison would be scared of the world. Well, thankfully, I know how it all turned out in the end. She left with them. If I didn't know that, this is about where I'd start getting all anxious. Isn't that great? So after that was when they started preparing for the jailbreak, right? That's right. It should have been about a month and a half after Kafka was put in prison, when Anthony made the decision to get out. Then it took them about another month to come up with a concrete plan to get out of there. Which means there was about a month and a half from the time they finished their plan till the actual jailbreak, right? It was 4 months altogether. It's not that long, but it's not that short either. But I guess we're finally at the part I'm interested in the most. What's this diagram? Oh, I know. This is the prison's layout, right? That's right. It's kinda crude, but it's got everything you need to know on there. Hey, Mulesis, how did you get a map of the prison? Is that something you can just Google? The part I'm most curious about is how they got out. Of course, I'm interested in the story behind the team, but this is a prison break. That's the part that keeps us all on the edge of our seats. You told me you want to understand the whole process. Is that really just because you're interested in the jailbreak? Sure, you can think of it like that. Fine. Okay, so that's what it looks like from the outside. If we're just going to talk about it, we might as well start from the beginning. Oh, she used science powers to get the map, you're right. She probably sent in sonars or something. First, let's take a look at the prison's design. The architects clearly learned from their experience with the nomadic cities. The prison wasn't built directly on top of the chassis. They built a mountain base first, like what you'd find in the real world, and then they finished the prison design on top of that. Wait, they built this mountain? Yo, they're good at terraforming. This is a pretty common technique these days, but back in the day, it was ahead of its time, and it was very successful. Oh, this is the inside of the map. Okay, I see. I see a handwritten note on the top. Maybe she has a friend in the prison. She's like, hey, bestie, can you do me a favor and then make a map for me? Okay, thanks. Now, let's set aside the prison's outside appearance for the time being. The prison has 3 floors, and each floor's structure is more or less the same. At the lower left of each floor is the A zone. This is where the non-infected are kept. To the upper right is the B zone, the infected block. The upper left and lower right corners are where the guard houses are. That's where the jailers usually stay. The black monolith in the center is the C zone, where the most serious felons are kept. The area in the middle here is the underground factory. This is where the prisoners work together. Over here is a clinic. It's also Doma's room. Next to that is the morgue. On the other side is the library that they built at Anthony's suggestion. That's more or less the prison's layout. Mina spent a lot of time exploring, and with the basic idea figured out, they came up with a way to escape from the prison. You can tell by looking at the layout that the C-Zone tower isn't actually built directly onto the ground. There is an elevator in the middle that goes to the basement. Not only that, but the tower itself can actually be lowered underground. Oh? No kidding? Yeah. These kinds of structures aren't very common. They probably designed it that way so that they can keep the inmates underground during emergencies, where they can't cause trouble. Right. And to lower the tower, you normally need to flip the switches in 2 of the guardhouses at the same time. Oh, I get it. The info I got after the fact did mention that the tower sank all the way into the bottom, so they probably activated the mechanism at the guardhouses, right? Huh? Wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. Even if they made it underground, was there a way out down there? I mean, you know, the classic prison break thing? You have a spoon and you just dig. Maybe they made a diggy down hole. First off, they didn't go to the guardhouses. They thought about it at one point. However, they found out the mechanisms could only lower the towers very slowly. Anthony figured that out from a document he found in the library. The document was probably a design diagram left behind after the prison's construction. I like how they just happened to be at the library. They probably are thinking to themselves, it's not like anyone's gonna read, right? Who reads nowadays? Everyone's into audiobooks. But joke's on them. Anthony likes books. He likes books. He just likes books. Book. The document was probably a design diagram left behind after the prison's construction. My assumption is no one thought about it, so they stuck it in there when Anthony suggested building a library. Huh. They probably figured no one would ever need that for anything. After all, the prison was built more than 20 years ago. It was 25 years ago. In any case, they couldn't just wait for the tower to slowly sink to the bottom. The guards would have tried to do something, so they abandoned this idea altogether. Huh? But in that case... Fortunately, they found something else on the document. Take a look at the top of the central tower. There's a room there, and it isn't a prison cell. That's the real control room of the tower, if not the whole prison. The control room? I see. That's where you can make the tower drop all the way to the bottom, right? That's right. And it's also possible to cut off the prison's electricity there to cause a commotion, however brief. There usually isn't anyone on that floor. You need a special elevator key to get inside. The regular car keys that the jailers carry can't access this floor. I think I get it now. They went up to the control room, sank the tower all the way to the bottom, and cut the power off to cause a ruckus up above. But that still leaves us a question. What happened after that? Is there a way out underground? There is. Did they dig? Oh, Doma provided that way out. She said that, going by her memory, the last morgue doctor had told her there weren't any previous designs the architects could reference in building the prison, and there were actually a few abandoned structures at the bottom of the mountain. And some of those led to the surface outside the prison. Ooh, hello, how's it going? Am I winning? Yes, I'm winning so good. I'm actually going faster than I thought I would. Today's goal was to do 5 and 6, and I'm already on 6. Though I am hungry, so it's kind of working out, because that means I can eat breakfast. Yo, breakfast before work. Sounds wonderful. Imagine eating. In particular, there was one fairly close to the morgue. It's close, but there's also a wall that's 3 meters thick in between. So, did they dig their way through? Yes, they dug through the wall. They did make a diggy hole! Did they use spoons? The walls themselves are made of rebar and concrete, but it's just soil outside. Once you find a weaker section of the wall and breach it, you don't need any advanced tools to dig the tunnel. That's what they did. They took turns digging at the clinic. Oh, they even took turns. They used the power of friendship. I love it. Huh? Now that you mention it, if they were going to dig a tunnel at the morgue, couldn't they have left as soon as the tunnel was done? Have you forgotten already? Getting to the surface outside the prison isn't going to do you much good when the prison isn't stopped at a city. The prison also raises its security whenever it stops at a city. When that happens, the prisoners get much less free time. Even Anthony hardly had any free time. They couldn't just have gone to the clinic like before. Alright, Teehee, I forgot. Right. Since the prison was stopped at a city, Mina left with the construction crew before the jailbreak, so she didn't actually participate in it. She rendezvoused with the gang outside the prison. Anyway, at some point in the last month and a half, they stole the key that gave them access to the control room at the top of the tower from Chief Barton. Then, a few days before the prison was slated to make its next port call, they finished digging the tunnel and made sure it led them to the surface. Now all the preparations were finally complete. How did they hide the diggy hole? And how did they hide all the dirt and debris? Did they just flush it down the toilet? That's what I'm imagining. Though yes, the goal was MB5 and MB6. Tomorrow I will finish the entire event, or at least the main story-wise, because I don't know if I can do the extra stages. I can never finish them. There's always that one stage that destroys me. But it's okay, it's all worth it. I got ramen, I also got a nice toilet. And yo, since it's fast, I can eat. I can actually eat. Breakfast for once. I'll eat cereal. Cereal. I have Reese's Puff cereal. Delicious. Woohoo! Oh, this is amazing. There's so much time to eat before work. I love it. This is a first. So thank you, Evan, for stopping by the stream. It was short, but it was great. I love the Prison Break story. It is amazing. I also hope everyone has awesome gacha luck. Enjoy the gacha luck. And oh, it's the poster covering the hole in the wall. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Oh, this is great. I can't wait to see the ending tomorrow. But yes. Yes, Reese's Puffs. Reese's Puffs. And yes, I will eat them up. And now I'll be off. So thank you again. And yes, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. I'm excited to eat. See you later. Bye-bye. Yes, food!